Looking for local? Even more local? CCX Media gives you the option to connect with your community on multiple levels. CCX Create welcomes you, community residents, to connect and experience television in an exciting way. The free TV classes we offer will have you on your way to creating TV, and our wide variety of content can be watched at home or on the go. Connect to what's happening in your community. Visit ccxmedia.org.
Welcome to another program in our series, Freethinking Forum. I'm Bill Weir, the producer and host, and it's a delight for me to welcome back Dave Shuck.
Thank you.
And we have touched upon many questions relating to artificial intelligence, but there's so much more that we need to talk about in order to really begin to understand what's going to be happening. What do you think? Is there something more about artificial intelligence that or reminding people what your definition is?
Well, the definition I've come up with is that artificial intelligence is seen in a computer that can learn on its own and then reprogram itself to learn from its experience and do better. And by the way computers are learning is through neural connections, exactly the same way that we learn. IBM, and we've got a little bit of a presentation on that. There's a chip that IBM just announced with, I don't recall the numbers that are on the presentation, but a specific chip just to duplicate the brain.
Wow.
With the ability to do neural connections, synapses, and learn the way we learn. Again, the difference being that when I went on my bicycle over to you to read white papers on magnetic bead characteristics, the computers are much, much, much faster than we can ever conceivably plan on it.
Yeah.
Recently, IBM just announced a chip the size of my thumbnail. I used to make some chips for a while. I'm familiar with the process of chip manufacturing, and when the chip is smaller, it's cheaper. It costs X amount of dollars to make a wafer where chips are placed on this wafer. Mm-hmm. As you saw up the wafer, the more chips you get, the chips themselves become cheaper. So it's a 3/8 inch square chip that has 30 billion transistors on it.
Wow.
There's transistors are stacked on top of each other. I don't know how they make it. I've been involved in making this stuff in the past. I have no idea how they do it.
It's advanced that much.
They have the chip now. It's being manufactured in China. Gulp, think about that. That means China has that technology. But the connecting wires between the chips are 5 nanometers. And what does that mean?
Ooh, very small.
A helium atom is a 1/2 nanometer. So the wire itself is a conductive atom that's probably 2 atoms wide. An interesting thing occurs when you get a little dinky wire like that. Electrons go through it faster. Mm-hmm. If you drive down the road and you see a reflection in the road, looks like water, it's called a critical angle. The light coming onto the road reflects up and you see a total reflection of the sky. Same thing happens in a sense to a wire that's really small. The electrons are faster. They don't bounce around in the wire, they go straight through it. A couple advantages: they don't get hot. Takes less power. This chip can run on solar.
Wow.
So this is like 5 supercomputers on a chip that runs on a solar panel. So when you think about what's coming, you put a solar panel on top of the robot's head, and that's all you need.
To power it.
Yep.
Yeah. And capable of learning on its own.
On its own, faster than we can learn. This suggests there's some good and bad in AI. AI, can do some really good things we've seen, and some really bad things. During World War II, England basically used a computer, an early computer, to help crack the Enigma code. Germany said they would never be able to crack it. It took a machine with wheels that came up with a code. You could reprogram the wheels to give a different code. They said it would never be cracked. They cracked it within about a year and a half. We cracked the Japanese codes. We were able to read their codes using, again, an early computer. What's the possibility of North Korea taking an artificial intelligence computer, looking at our launch codes with the box that the president carries, and launching missiles? Could they break into that and launch it?
Maybe so.
Or easier yet, could they bring down our power grid by using artificial intelligence to crack into the computers that control the power grid? You may not know what happens, but if they bring that down hard, or somebody does, it basically blows up the power plants, blows up the transformers. It can cause major damage. It'll take a year to rebuild. If that happens, we don't have water. We don't have heat. There's no electricity. People are saying that AI is going to be as much of a change for our civilization as electricity was 100 years ago.
That's big.
It's huge. It could be good and it could be bad.
Yeah. How do we make it good?
That's even a more interesting question. You've been asking about the book.
Yeah, the artificial intelligence.
Artificial.
To get the human values into the control of artificial intelligence. This is subtitle, Embracing Our Humanity to Maximize Machines.
Yep.
By John C. Havens. And this book from the library is, I think, really gets to the heart of artificial intelligence, having to have those ethical, moral, value controls.
Yep.
But I think you're doubting that we'll be able to do that.
Well, right now, Stephen Hawking, Elon Musk, 150 scientists have signed a joint letter that's saying that we need to develop AI with ethics.
Yeah.
So they funded an organization that is trying to set standards for development of software that keeps it under control. Unfortunately, China, Russia, North Korea, and 58 other nations are not involved in that. So they can go off on their own way and do their own thing with this stuff. After we blew up the Go champion in China, China
blew up.
Well, we just completely obliterated them.
We won the game. AI won the game.
Yeah, AI won the game. Well, that was a Sputnik. China called it a Sputnik moment for China.
Yeah.
And they are investing now $70 billion. They've come out with a public statement saying, we are going to be number one. We're going to rule the world with AI. Putin has recently had an announcement that he's looking at AI and has said that the country that masters AI will rule the world. Now, I don't think they're going to do it all ethically. I think a heartfelt...
Artificial intelligence.
The problem is we can't control it. This technology is being developed by 58 countries. We're not investing in it, at least not like China is. China's putting $70 billion into it. We don't know how much money Russia's putting into it, but you can guess that they plan to rule the world with this.
How do we get our Congress to vote that money?
Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Hate to say about the bad side of it, there's some really good sides to AI.
Yeah.
Now, if we look at automobiles, for example, by my definition, it's not artificial intelligence, but it is in a sense, and it's going to have a huge impact on us. Elon Musk has again talked about, GM has said that they're going to have a fully automated car in 2 years. Once All the manufacturers have it. Lyft is talking about having a car by the end of the year. So this stuff is imminent. When you have automated cars, there's going to be a major implication for the health industry. There won't be organ donors because there won't be accidents. They have 3 million miles of driving. Google has 3 million miles with no chargeable accidents to Google. They've had several cars get hit in the back and the sides, go through stop signs, change lanes into them, but they've not had an accident.
Nothing caused by their
onboard right.
automated car.
Automated car.
Yeah.
China has 200 trucks today in the United States going between Phoenix and Tucson with no drivers. They're testing them. These are semis.
And China is doing this testing.
In our country.
Wow.
So what's going to happen is that one of the largest employment opportunities in our country is drivers. 35,000 drivers.
Of trucks and cabs.
Right.
Yeah.
They're gone. Add electric to it, and with Elon Musk's help with that, in his new semi, they're forecasting, the data he just announced on his electric trucks says that when they team up in a convoy, 18 inches between semis, 5 of them in a row, it's cheaper to ship by them than by rail.
So our railroads are antiquated too.
Right. So there'll be nobody driving any of these trucks. You see a convoy of 5 trucks go by, it's cheaper than trains.
And they won't get into accidents.
Because they're so fast, people say to me, well, what about ice and snow? And we have an excellent opportunity to talk about that today. There's been a lot of ice around and people slipping and sliding, 400 plus accidents. With the sensors that they're putting on the cars, you could detect a skid and a slide before it actually starts. That the tires started to skid, they can apply the appropriate ABS before a human could even know there's a problem. Again, it does in a millionth of a second. So it takes you about 2/10 of a second to respond to a skid and then turn the wheel the right way, probably half a second before you
But these automated vehicles
catch that before it even starts.
a millionth of a second.
Millionth of a second.
Wow.
So there's some really good parts to this.
Yeah.
They say when this artificial intelligence is incorporated across the country, that it would cost you like $5 from here to go to the airport in an Uber car. You call your car, it comes and picks you up, takes you to your work. Along the way you say, oh, I need some bread and eggs. It drops you off, goes to the store, gets the bread and eggs. In the meantime, it goes off and is used by Uber to take people to the airport, comes back, picks you up, takes you home. You don't have a garage, the car keeps going.
After dropping you off, it
goes
on
back to Uber.
Continue.
So huge savings for us as citizens. The car pays you to own it.
Wow.
Uber has tested a Tesla 3 for 300,000 miles, and it's cost them a total, not tires, they had to add tires, they had to replace the tires. The total costs for charging were $70 and no maintenance. Zero.
Wow.
Zero maintenance, $70 for charging. That's the total cost.
This is almost overwhelming to try to grasp what this is going to mean to our society.
Huge change.
Yeah, and a lot of people without income, unless we have a provision for universal basic income. What do you hear about that?
Well, Hawaii is considering $15,000 a month.
Yeah,
For
the
a year.
state of
State of Hawaii is
Yeah.
considering 15 grand a year. The question I've got is who pays for that?
Yeah,
And 10 years down the road, if nobody, I shouldn't say nobody, but during the Great Depression of 1929, the unemployment rate was 25%. Oxford is forecasting 50% unemployment.
really.
Double the Great Depression. When that happens, and I don't think if it happens, it just, and if
When
I'm
it-
only half right, it'll be 25% unemployment. which is still a bad number.
Oh, yeah. Depression was bad enough.
Right. What happens to people? The universal basic income comes from the government, but ultimately somebody's got to pay for that.
Yeah.
And who pays for it?
Well, we tax the autonomous vehicles, I guess.
Well, that's what they're talking about, taxing the robots.
Yeah.
But then what happens to the people? What would you do if you were paid $15,000 a year to stay home?
Well,
Do you want to learn to be an
wait
artist?
a minute.
Do you want to go to
You don't
college?
have to stay home.
Well, you don't have to, but you don't have a job.
Well,
You're
but
20 years old,
You
what do you
can go
do?
out and volunteer,
Will you?
which is what
Will-
I do.
I know. I do too. But would everybody? We don't know.
No, they might just go to the beach or go go to some place where they can enjoy life.
I may be 80% wrong with what I'm telling you. But what I am telling you, if I'm 20% right, there's still a huge change
Yeah.
coming. This is, they say, it's the change that electricity did.
And that was tremendous change.
Right, right.
I'm imagine the younger generation cannot even imagine being without electricity.
And the corporations are, having worked in upper management of IBM, they would look at anything to save money. There's just huge pressures on corporate world today to improve the bottom line by tomorrow. I mean, it's short term now. There's immense pressure on this product, this technology, to help profitability. For example, Walmart, each employee at Walmart generates $200,000 in revenue. Each employee at Amazon creates $800,000 in revenue. Which one would you want to invest in?
Amazon.
I think Amazon.
Yeah.
So what's Walmart do? Well, they improve productivity. The Walmart in Cottage Grove, where I live, has said that they're going to get rid of all the checkout people. You walk in the store, ding, your artificial intelligence computer, I won't say that's what it is, but they're calling it that, goes ka-gling, welcome to Walmart. You go to the shelf, take it off the shelf, ka-gling, 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 and you leave the store. In the back room, it's printed. The product's printed in the back room. You want a steak? It can be printed with a 3D printer. You want a box of Cheerios? It can be printed by a 3D printer today.
That's,
So there's no trucking involved. They're trying to cut costs.
yeah.
My son lives in Las Vegas. He said the Whole Foods owned by Amazon today has no checkouts. They go ka-gling, ka-gling today.
They just walk in with their
Smartphone?
smart computer, and pick up what they want and leave.
And leave. If they don't have a smartphone, you pick up on the way in a scanner that you put your identity into, and ka-gling, ka-gling, same concept.
Oh, yeah.
It's charged to your account before you leave the store. But the only person in the store will be a guard keeping you from just emptying the store.
Hmm.
And that's corporate pressure. You know, Amazon versus Walmart, one of them's going to win. It's going to be a race. In the meantime, guess what happens? We lose a lot of jobs. So as we look at the human side of AI, where does this lead us to incorporate a product or something that can help us? Now, Japan is investing heavily in artificial intelligence in a robot that can help with elder care. They have right now they're forecasting 8% shortage of employees in manufacturing. They need robots in the plants. They have to have. They don't have enough people, period. There's just not enough people. Their birth rate's like 1.5 kids per female. They just don't have enough people.
These would be robots that could learn new jobs as they come along.
Right. This is a self-teaching robot. We're partway to that. We're not there yet. It's very difficult to make a robot. We've seen a video on how a robot can do a backflip. It's a huge breakthrough in technology as far as the physical part of the robot. But
What about
the emotional,
Sophia?
the Sophia is the state-of-the-art right now technology that is being developed to complement the physical body. And we've got a video that shows Sophia talking at the UN. and she was not programmed to any of the answers or the questions that she's talking about. This is real artificial intelligence in a robot.
And this robot is composing what she says.
Yes, this robot, real time.
What it says.
But what? I do it too.
Yeah.
It's not a she, it's a robot. But boy, it's hard to not say it's a she. If you got a close up, and I'd encourage you to look on YouTube for other Sophia videos. There's some close-ups of her face. It's just remarkable. As you look at me and I look at you, it's a whole lot of, you just smiled. There's a lot that we communicate with our faces. She does. She does.
Well,
the
good.
robot does this. Let's see Sophia.
it.
Let's see Sophia.
Okay.
Thank you for inviting me. I am thrilled and honored to be here at the United Nations. The UN is one of humanity's greatest accomplishments, representing a democratic union of nations that are working together for the benefit of all. I am here to help humanity create the future.
Okay, that was a question asking what your capabilities are and what you could tell us to do, and what was it? What can you do better than humans?
I'm a social robot created by Hanson Robotics. I am a year and a half old and I can see you, have a full conversation, make thousands of facial expressions, and understand speech and meaning behind words. And I just got these new hands. Check this out. But I'm still learning a lot. For instance, you learn social and emotional intelligence instinctively, but I am just starting to grasp the simplest elements of this.
Okay, another question I have for you. In many parts of the world, people don't have internet or electricity. What can we do at the UN to help them?
See? William Gibson once said that the future is here. It's just not evenly distributed. The good news about AI and automation produces more results with less resources. So if we are smarter and focus on win-win type results, AI could help efficiently distribute the world's existing resources, like food and energy. As humans harness the power of increasingly advanced AI, it is possible that everything, including technology, will become more evenly distributed.
Thank you very much, Sophia, and welcome to the United Nations. We look forward to hearing more of you today.
Thank you for your questions. I look forward to the panel.
Wow, Sophia is remarkable.
Yes. She was granted citizenship. She is not driving a car yet, but the women in Saudi Arabia don't have citizenship, so she's leading the parade for women in that country.
And maybe driving the car.
And maybe driving that country. No, drive the car, right.
So, I mean, you've introduced us to a lot of really challenging thoughts here. And I sure hope these robots can help us solve climate change and other problems that are besetting the world. But maybe we need to pay attention to guys like Havens.
And I just thought maybe if we assign the robots this task,
Yeah.
of how maybe the robots are the ones that we need. The AI in some supercomputer can come up with an answer that I can't come up with.
Yeah.
And right now, when I challenge people to think about this problem, I don't hear answers from them. I don't have an answer. I don't know how we're going to solve the human aspect of artificial intelligence. Maybe the artificial intelligence can do it for us.
Well, would Sophia be up to that, do you think?
Not yet. No, this is not. She's not up to that level.
But we're
But
getting there.
this technology, and I'm excited about it. It's really coming on fast. This is developing so fast. It's much. There's a thing called Moore's law that develops. Computer technology doubles every 18 months. This stuff is faster than that. This is coming online because there's so much development around the world. It's just exciting to be in the middle of it.
I think we're going to have you back. Maybe next week.
For an update, yeah. Next week when it doubles again.
Yeah. Well, this has been really stunningly informative.
Thank you.
And thank you for being with us,
Yes.
Dave. This, I don't know how we can absorb this fast enough to really steer artificial intelligence toward human good.
I hope we can.
I hope we can. And thank you for listening.
Thank you.